Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page. That's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Also, you can hear us live on our audio streaming. That's on Evox PBS receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
You have just heard and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And on to our program, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has signed into law the bill that extends the franchise of the Manila Electric Company or Meralco for another 25 years. And that's securing the continued operations of the country's largest electricity distributor until 2053. The bill was signed on April 11, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin has confirmed. And Meralco Meralco has welcomed the development, calling it a recognition of its role in powering the country's economic growth, given that they are the largest electricity distributor in the country. Particularly, they are serving the customers across Mega Manila. And the franchise extension, the company said it enables them to carry out the long-term infrastructure projects and energy solutions vital to national development. And the statement, or Meralco Chairman and CEO Manny Pangilinan said in a statement, and the development will fortifies the commitment of Meralco to deliver stable, reliable, and affordable electricity to millions of Filipinos. And Pangilinan said that the renewed congressional mandate would allow the Meralco to invest further in modernizing its distribution network, making it more resilient to climate-related disruptions, while also introducing innovations aimed at improving efficiency and as well as the customer experience. The power firm expressed gratitude to the President for his invaluable support and to both houses of Congress for enacting what it described as a critical measure for the energy sector. And the statement from Meralco said the renewal reflects a shared effort to ensure that Meralco continues to meet the evolving needs of consumers through innovation, operational excellence, and dependable service. And beyond the technical improvements, the company committed to aligning its operations with the broader goals of national progress. And Meralco reaffirmed its support for the government's nation-building agenda, saying it will continue to operate with transparency, regulatory compliance, and a strong sense of corporate social responsibility. And given that Meralco is the largest power distributor in the country, they are partnering with government agencies to implement or to operate with transparency as well as the regulatory compliance. And first granted in 1903 and last extended through Republic Act 9209 in 2003, Meralco's franchise covers Metro Manila and parts of Central Luzon and the Region 4A or the Calabarzon. And that's the home to key industrial and economic hubs. So Meralco is powering the entire Mega Manila households and as well as businesses. And the Meralco's franchise is set to expire in 2028. So Meralco has applied early for its franchise so that they can serve more customers and businesses for a nation building purposes.
Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Okay, the Department of Education has declared bullying in schools a priority measure. The Education Department said intensified efforts and collaboration with other government agencies are underway to combat bullying. And to address this issue, Department of Education or DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara led the largest executive committee or EXECOM meeting to discuss the also known as the alarming increase in bullying incidents in public schools in the country. Secretary Angara said the government and other stakeholders must prioritize addressing the matter. To Secretary Angara, bullying is not just a school matter, it is a national priority that demands a whole of government and as well as whole of society response. To date, reported bullying cases surged to 2,500 in academic year 2024 to 2025 from last academic year, that's in 2023 to 2024, at 2,268 cases. And that's according to the DepEd National Capital Region's data. And some of DepEd's partner agencies are the Philippine National Police, as well as the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG, and the Department of Justice. Among the measures includes PNP's intervention in bullying cases with legal violations, increased police visibility and installation of security cameras in high-risk schools, establishment of the Parent Effectiveness Office under DSWD for investigation of cases, and educating families in addressing the root causes. The DILG and DOJ, meanwhile, raised the possible activation of the Barangay Juvenile Intervention Program, which will help prevent bullying through diversion and rehabilitation at the community level. Besides collaboration with law enforcement agencies, academic experts from select universities including the University of the Philippines and Ateneo de Manila University will help DepEd improve its values, education, and good manners and right conduct. While the United Nations Children's Fund and Save the Philippines Children offered to provide data and information in global programs. To date, the DepEd is drafting a default policy on school safety and security, and that will include guidelines on physical safety measures, clear procedures for incidents reporting, sanctions for offenders, provisions of psychological first aid, and financial assistance for victims of school-related incidents. So this is not just about the government's action; it's all about parents' address to, or as well as the parents' address to address the bullying incidents, because the government, after all, will just craft or some policies that will address this issue, but also it is a responsibility of a parent to address the bullying issue that is happening in our schools.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Okay, on other developments across the nation, focusing on the raging tariff drama. Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino has proposed the creation of a national trade commission to help the Philippines respond to the economic challenges and opportunities arising from the United States' newly announced tariff regime. In a news release on Tuesday, Senator Tolentino said the proposed expert panel would be tasked to study the implication of the U.S. policy shift, particularly the 17% tariff affecting Philippine exports like electronics and agricultural goods. Though the Philippine government is negotiating with the United States to lower the tariff rate that was imposed to us. And Senator Tolentino said the body would also draft policy recommendations for the President and Congress. He emphasized, however, that the relatively lower tariffs imposed on the Philippines, in contrast to higher rates on China and other countries, may also open new opportunities for local industries. Senator Tolentino noted the potential for the Philippines to attract manufacturers looking to relocate from China, stressing the need to prepare export processing zones and promote the country as an investment destination. So it would need a government intervention regarding this tariff drama that we are into right now. And still, he acknowledged the key obstacles that must be addressed, including the high energy costs and other barriers to doing business, which is the Commission could include in its recommendation. While there is an existing government commission, and that is the Tariff Commission, that is the umbrella agency of the upcoming Department of Economy, Planning and Development. But upon its charter, it only deals on issues on tariff on a national level. So would this proposed a National Trade Commission complement the Tariff Commission? And that is something the Filipinos to look forward to in the next coming days.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And in the related news, the signing into law of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, or DepDep, that we've just discussed to you a moment ago, or the DepDep Act, is a historic reform and a national victory, according to Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri. The Republic Act number 12145, or RA 12145, that was signed by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on April 10, reorganized the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, into a full-fledged cabinet-level department. Senator Zubiri, which he chairs the Senate Committee on Economic Affairs and principal author of the DepDep Act, said in a news release that the reorganized DepDev will be equipped with the power and resources it needs to drive real economic progress for the Filipino people. And the new law grants the DepDevs broader authority to harmonize national and local economic strategies, oversee the public investment program, and manage the Philippine Development Plan. It will also serve as the lead agency in coordinating development efforts across sectors, aiming to address persistent challenges such as the regional disparities, job creation, and infrastructure development. And that's going to be a key role of the DepDevs. Meanwhile, the senator from Bukidnon said NEDA's reorganization is more than just a structural reform. This is about future-proofing the Philippine economy, and it provides planners and economists the tools they need to anticipate the global shift, respond with agility, and deliver inclusive progress. And that's what NEDA Undersecretary Rosemary Edilion said in our previous interview with her this week, which is to future-proof the Philippine economy, and also provides planners and economists the tools they need to anticipate or face the global shifts, particularly this tariff drama, and also respond with agility and deliver inclusive progress while we face some economic uncertainties. And also, Senator Zubiri credited the leadership of NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan and the agency's workforce for their role in shaping and advancing the measure through Congress.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
When we return, we will get in touch with an election watchdog. Ask midterm election years what are their preparations and what are their stance on some of election issues. That's coming up next. You're watching Front and Center.
Tatak Pinoy is more than a branding exercise. It is about incubating and incentivizing great products that deserve to carry the Made in the Philippines trademark.
Magandang balita! Inilunsad ng DTI ang Tatak Pinoy Strategy na isang inisyatiba para bigyang lakas pa ang mga industriyang Pilipino. Layunin ng TPS na paunlarin ang mga Tatak Pinoy na negosyo upang mapabuti ang kanilang mga produkto at serbisyo sa loob at labas ng bansa. Ang mga programa at polisiya nito na tutulong sa mga negosyanteng Pinoy ay iikot sa human resources, infrastructure, tech and innovation, investments at sound financial management.
It is about creating products and services of the highest quality because Tatak Pinoy is also about excellence. And as a seal of great workmanship,
Sama-sama, gawin nating sikat at makilala sa buong mundo ang Tatak Pinoy.
Pinangunahan ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ang paglulunsad ng Agri-Puhunan at Pantawid Program sa Mindanao para bigyan ng tulong ang ating mga magsasaka na itinuturing na isang haligi ng ating ekonomiya.
sa ilalim ng Agri-Puhunan at Pantawid Program, maaari na po kayong makahiram ng puhunan hanggang 60,000 piso sa mababang interes na 2% kada taon.
Bukod rito, siniguro rin ng Pangulo na buo ang suporta ng pamahalaan at minigyang diin na ang bawat isa ay may pagkakataong maging maginhawa ang pamumuhay sa bagong Pilipinas.
Sa panahon naman ng pagtanim hanggang sa pag-aani, makakatanggap din po kayo ng tulong pagtawid na nakakahalaga ng 8,000 piso tuwing unang linggo sa loob ng 4 na buwan. Mamamahagi rin po kami ng Interventions Monitoring Card o IMC. Sa tulong nitong IMC, mabibigyan po kayo ng input credit upang makabili kayo ng dekalidad, abot kayang farm input mula sa ating DA accredited na mga merkado. Mamamahagi rin po tayo ng mga makinaryang pangsakahan na inaasahan, mapapataas pati ang inyong ani at ang inyong kita.
Para sa iba pang mga balita at impormasyon, manatiling nakatuto. Tapat sa pag-uulat. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, 738.
Paliwanag mo sa tao na hindi totoo yan.
Dahil ang totoo, yung totoo ang dapat ninyong malaman.
Nagkalat sa internet ang fake news
Ang
o
ginagawa
mali
ng
at
fake news, tinatapon niyo yung tao.
what they are doing is creating panic.
We say no.
Yung pagkalat ng fake news. And some of it's dangerous.
Sana iwasan po natin pag-spread ng fake news.
At di magpapakalat ng disinformation at misinformation ang kasulukuyang administrasyon.
Stop telling us fake news because you're wrong.
Para sa totoo at mapagkakatiwalaang mga balita at impormasyon, Radyo Pilipinas.
Radyo Pilipinas, World Service Online. Reaching you in digital format. Anytime, anywhere. From Manila, Philippines.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
We are less than a month away from midterm elections. National and local campaign of candidates are in full swing. The Commission on Elections gears up as well for this historical event as millions of Filipinos, both local and overseas, will cast their votes on May 12. So how a citizens' arm is preparing for this? Joining me now is the National Coordinator of the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, none other than Dr. Arwin Serrano. Dr. Arwin, thank you so much for joining us in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Yes, thank you also for having me for this interview. Good morning to everyone.
All right. So, Dr. Arwin, let me start with this question. So, what is PPCRV and what does it exactly do during elections?
Well, PPCRB means Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting. And we've been organized since October 1991 in preparation for then presidential elections for 1992. And since then, we have been tasked to perform poll watching, voters education, and later on, the start of our first automated election 2010, we also included the unofficial parallel count up to this forthcoming election. So we've been doing election monitoring for different kinds of election, whether barangay and SK, local and national, plebiscite, and even special elections. And we've been accredited by COMELEC since the 1992 presidential elections up to now.
I see. Okay, given that you are involved, the PPCRV is involved in monitoring in our elections. So, how many people does PPCRV have So are they composed of volunteers, Dr. Arwin?
We are all volunteers, including me.
Okay.
We only employed 2 to 3 people who are given allowances, but all of us, including me, in the board, we received nothing. So we are also volunteers. We started small in 1992 presidential elections, but we grew up to close to 1 million, especially in the 2016 presidential elections.
I see. Okay, so Dr. Arwin, so what are the preparations given that the PPCRV has been involved in 1992 elections as well as 1995, 1998, I think 2001 and 2004 and so on and so forth until this election in 2025. So what are the preparations of the PPCRV this midterm elections given that our country has launched or internet voting or online voting right now?
We usually start with pre-election activities like voters registration campaign, voters education, continuing voters education. We are also involved in the Bids and Awards Committee with the procurement of important election paraphernalia and materials. We also are involved in the meetings, whether it's coordination meetings from the national up to the local level.
Yeah.
We are also actively participating in COMELEC initiated activities and also election-related events. And especially now that the start of the election period in January 11, up to today, we are closely monitoring all the related activities, particularly in preparation for our May 12, 2025 elections. Our volunteers are growing in numbers because of our call for volunteers and volunteers mobilization. And we've been very active in all phases and all aspects of election. And we are very much involved as compared to other non-government organizations which are also helping us in monitoring this election.
I see. And also, Dr. Arwin, since we have the internet voting, so and as well as the overseas voting in embassies abroad has started already. So is PCRV monitoring this, or do you have any volunteers that are monitoring this developments or situation in the overseas absentee voting?
Yes, we do have, and in fact, in April 28, we're going to have a training for our volunteers who will be helping us in monitoring not only the internet voting, but also all the overseas absentee voters scattered all over the world. And from that training, we will still continue with those who wanted to be part of our volunteers network in PPCRB. And we are also in close communication with COMELEC, especially with those who are involved and directly involved in the overseas voting, particularly the internet voting. More so with what we have been hearing from other people expressing them in the social media, especially Facebook.
I see. Okay, so you mentioned that. How do you assess the online voting in overseas voting, which is happening now? So, what's your assessment?
Well, from the start that COMELEC introduces this to us in formally in March 2024,
Mm-hmm.
and succeedingly thereafter for the procurement of winning bidders for the internet voting, and up to now, that we are learning more information about internet voting. So we are continuously monitoring all of this,
Mm-hmm.
up to the point that the one month election period for or voting period
Mm-hmm.
for the overseas voters
I see.
would be completed, and up to such time that this will be integrated in the overall results of the outcome of the election. So we
Mm-hmm.
will be monitoring all these phases.
So, okay, so do you consider deploying at least one volunteer in each embassies?
Hopefully so. If we could come out with that many volunteers and that varied volunteers,
Mm-hmm.
because we will know that after the first scheduled training on April 28 online.
Oh, okay. So given that date, which is April 28th, is that enough? Is that enough to at least deploy or to monitor the online voting? Given that election is on May 12th.
Uh, Voting started already
Yeah.
last Sunday,
Yeah.
April 13, and continuing up to now. And I honestly believe and confirm that it's already too late because voting have already started. But nevertheless, we'll try our best to deploy some volunteers of ours in various countries that we can get volunteers to.
I see. And that's to ensure the transparency of this midterm election, Dr. Arvin.
Additional transparency measures, particularly on monitoring the different methodologies of voting for our overseas voters. But more so here locally, we will try our best to have all schools, as much as possible, all voting centers, that we will have volunteers, especially on our volunteers assistance desk. And we will try our best also to come out with our best number in terms of poll watchers in every voting precinct, in every voting center.
Okay, I see. Okay, so yeah, before we let you go, Dr. Arvin, so since it's Holy Wednesday, tomorrow is Monday, Thursday, as well as a Good Friday, Black Saturday, as well as the Easter Sunday is coming up. So, what is your message to our candidates and also to our voters this Holy Week?
Well, first of all, for our dear candidates, let me remind again, although this has been reminded so many times in social media, that no campaigning on tomorrow, Holy Thursday and Good Friday, and campaigning is only up to today, and would resume Holy Saturday. But aside from that, we also request our candidates to please also get involved actively during this Lenten week, the close of our Lenten season, and pray very hard that you would win, and that you would win the votes of our voters, and that you would campaign, and that you would launch the remaining days of the campaign in a peaceful and orderly manner. For our dear voters, we would like to remind you that time is running out. It's already 26 days before election day, and hopefully you have already come out with your list
Uh-huh.
of candidates to vote for from national to local levels, and that you would also pray this listing of yours,
Yep.
so that these candidates, if they win,
Uh-huh.
they would be very good leaders of ours,
Uh-huh.
and that they would lead
Right.
us according to what we are expected
Okay.
of them.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. And with that, thank you so much, Dr. Arwin Serrano, the National Coordinator from Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, for joining us in the program. Thank you.
Thank you also, Jerome, and God bless us all.
Okay, and before we conclude this program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service and its programs will be temporarily pause its live streams starting tomorrow, Monday, Thursday, April 17 until Black Saturday, April 19 to give way for the Holy Week observance. Regular programming of your Radyo Pilipinas World Service resumes on Easter Sunday, April 20. Have a blessed Holy Week. And that concludes this edition of Front and Center. Together with Radyo Pilipinas World Service production team and technical personnel, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay, love the Philippines.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.